This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Henshin Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary. I will be discussing the downs and ups and whats of Donbros 29. This is Super Sentai Sanctuary, episode 29. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers, episode 29, originally aired September 18th, 2022. The title is Mourning and Murasame. The writer is Toshiki Inoue, the director is Satoshi Morota. Starting with the downs, Murasame helping Jiro fight off the Hitsosuki doesn't make sense because Mother told him to protect the Anoni from the Beastial. So, protect the Anoni from the Beastial, and later on, fight the Hitsosuki. Aren't the Anoni and the Beastials together? That's something I'll discuss a little bit more later. I also recall that once Muramase fought Taro, or Tora Jirou, when he was trying to fight a Hitsosuki. I don't think Tora Jirou would waste his time on an Anoni. So, if I'm just saying this doesn't make sense. If Hitsosuki and Anoni are linked to each other, or aren't linked to each other, but we've seen Taro, or rather Murasame, protect a Hitsosuki and an Anoni, but then he killed the Beastial this episode to sort of protect Jiro, but maybe just because he wanted to talk to him. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Or maybe he just used the opportunity to, that the Beastial was attacking Jiro to kill the Beastial, because I guess this machine kills Beastials is the deal with Murasame. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I really don't get what's going on, and it's confusing me. And you may, I'm not saying I didn't like the way it looked, and I'm not saying I didn't like them talking, because that is something I like later, but I'm saying I don't get it. I don't understand what is going on, why Murasame seems to be, I don't know, switching sides or having these shifting allegiances. And I know Murasame asked the council guys if he could be let go and be free to mature on his own or whatever, and he broke free from his programming or development too soon, and that's dangerous for him or whatever. But I don't know, I don't know, something doesn't make sense. Moving on to the other downs, the sandwich thing was bizarre. Just the whole sandwich thing was bizarre. I don't think I need to say anything more than that, do I? And then last thing for the downs is Tsubasa should have been summoned to battle, but he wasn't. I want to know why not. That's inconsistent. It doesn't make sense. Every time they're in a fight, they get called into battle, no matter what they're doing. I mean, I guess, of course, the contrivance of the show, nobody's ever in the bathroom or anything when a fight is happening. That would be terrible. Oh, man. Anyway, but, yeah. That'd also be hilarious. It'd be terrible and hilarious, and they'd have to show them, squatting in a transformed but squatting or something like that. That's the only way they can make it work, and other than that, it'd be too gross and graphic or whatever. Maybe, holding a piece of toilet paper would be funny. But I was about to ask a really stupid, ignorant question. Do they even use toilet paper in Japan? Honestly, I've never been there, so I would assume they, clean themselves with something other than a bidet, but who knows? And I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. Maybe I don't want to go to Japan. Maybe I don't. Okay, moving on to the ups. The sandwich, despite the fact that I complained about how weird it was, I did find it funny and cute and charming, and it made a lot of sense that the sauce from the sandwich kind of wrecked that Cerebrin greeting card invitation thing. Or not greeting card, the invitation to the funeral. I guess it's the summons, the Cerebrin summons. But anyway, that was pretty funny that it was all glitchy, and Taro was like, yeah, it's probably because of the sauce. Which is a good moment. Then I love the Black War Greymon vibes from Murasame. So Murasame is questioning his existence and what he should do and where he came from, and he sort of wants to die. So Tora Jirou wants to fight a worthy enemy, and at some point he stops fighting Murasame because he's like, hey, you just want to die, don't you? So I'm not going to fight you if you want to die. That's not the kind of victory I want to have, or that's not the kind of battle I want to be involved in, or something along those lines. And I thought it was funny. It kind of made me laugh, and I thought, oh, so you're willing to kill people, but you're only willing to kill people who want to live. You're not willing to kill somebody who wants to die. And does that make sense? I'm only willing to kill somebody who has the will to live, because they'll be an adequate component for me to fight. But if they just want to die, then I won't kill them. I mean, I guess technically that's the right motivation, because if someone's putting their life on the line and they're willing to die and you kill them, there is something, I don't know, noble or honorable or potentially good about that. But if somebody has no will to live and you kind of take advantage of them and kill them or murder them, or if someone's not putting up a fight against you and you kill them, is that I kind of think it's murder. So I could see that. I could see the ethic there, that like if they have no will to live and they're not trying to fight you, and it's not like you're not defending yourself in a life or death, like your lives aren't both on the line, they're just passively letting you kill them. Yeah, that is like murder, basically. I never thought about it that way. That's super interesting. So like that actually adds to the ethos and the like nobility of the warrior cultures or clans who are like, oh, we're gonna fight to the death. Especially because a lot of the time there's like an honor bound system or culture there, where it's like, we're going to fight to the death, and whoever loses, there's not going to be a bunch of retaliation from the other side. Every life is precious, so we're going to put our lives on the line, and it's going to really mean something and be profound. Versus today, you can just slaughter, you can just drone bomb people in all sorts of countries all over the world and still pretend that you're the good guys. Anyway, moving on. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I'm so sorry for getting distracted on that. So I like those Black War Greymon vibes. I'm curious, but it's kind of funny because I say Black War Greymon, Muramase's got those vibes going on, but Tora Jirou kind of does too, because he wants to be this ultimate warrior, and he wants to fight and keep fighting until he can be defeated by an enemy or whatever, just to test his mettle. I mean, there's shades of it in both of them, so that's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes. But I like the duality. But who's the other, I guess, is the calm Murasame talking to everybody, the, nice Jirou side, the dragon Jirou side or whatever, and then the ninjark sword that's causing everyone to go crazy and, just like try to kill their friends? Is that the feral side that he has? I don't know. Well, I guess that'll get fleshed out in the future. So, speaking of fighting, the Murasame Jirou fight was really good. Very fun and dynamic. Super entertaining. Next, I enjoyed seeing the Ninjark Sword versus the world. Just seeing that thing go crazy, and like everybody who handles it has to fight their friends and gets the dark eyes and stuff. It was really good. Like, I enjoyed seeing everybody fight. And I noticed specifically that Tsubasa hadn't transformed yet, but Saruhara? That's his name, right? Saruhara. He, dehensioned, to use an old term. He dehensioned and, got the dark eye makeup and the glowing eyes and stuff, and it started attacking everybody. And that was fun. But it was interesting to me that, like, first of all, I liked that. And I liked that they did that, and that they got all the, people who participated in that to do these, like, feral, ninjark sword performances, which were pretty cool, because it didn't actually look like the sword was puppeting them, but I like to think that, like, the sword was obviously controlling them and influencing them, and the performances didn't sell that, like, the sword was itself, like, directing them or moving of its own accord, and they were just attached to it. That would have looked cool. I feel like I've seen that before somewhere. But regardless, oh man, so the whole writer thing, I want to read a lot of stuff, so I actually listened to the audiobook of Neverending Story, and he gets like a laser sword that fights of its own accord, and it just like yanks his body along with him. It's super dope. He's not supposed to bring it out in anger. It's supposed to be like a, Jedi, self-defense only type of thing. And I won't tell you what happens there, because, stories don't have drama and consequences for people disobeying orders that they're given that they should really follow, because it would be foolish not to. But anyway, there's a couple scenes where he's attacked and he's defending himself, and he whips out this awesome, like, it's basically, I think it's just a hilt, and like a laser beam basically comes out of it, and it's amazing to hear the description of how Sebastian, well, it's not Sebastian wielding that thing, how that thing is wielded, of its own accord for Sebastian's sake. It's super dope. Anyway, speaking of people being puppeted by swords, basically. But getting back to Donbros, I really like the performances, and I liked getting to see everybody's faces and get to see them doing that choreography, because it's different from everything that they do before. Maybe all the Ninjark Sword choreography was the same, and maybe each actor who got to wield it did the same choreography, but it was distinct from what they typically do, which gives the ninja arc sword like its own character and its own feel, which is good. I think that works, definitely. I think it would have been dumb to just have them, do their own style of choreography and have like the ninja arc sword being filtered through them. No, it's like overpowering them, which I think is a lot better. It's cool visual. Let's see, maybe in a story you would want it to be different, or like just like a book you'd want it to be different, but definitely for a show, I think having the visual element, the ninja arc sword having its own like visual signature makes a lot of sense. Just separate from the sword itself. So spinning off on that, I'll come back to that. So the effect of the headless blue Cerebral Knight was rock solid. I don't know what they used. I'm assuming there had to have been a guy in the suit, but I guess they just like CG erased and painted out his head. He barely moved. He was mostly standing still. He crouched down. He grabbed the head or the helmet and picked it up. And I also love the cut that they did to going away from him, picking it up. They do a close-up on Momotaro, I believe, and he's talking to the people. And then you come back, and the guy he gets he grabs his helmet that he's wearing now, and like turns his head, and they do like a clink clink sound effect, and it sounds like he's putting the helmet back on. And just like, it's a simple effect. That part of the effect is simple. They could have shown the head on the floor and shot it where you only saw like the neck or something. Or maybe if there was like a blood effect or something, they could have showed like a neck stump type thing going on. But of course they were able to use the CGI. But I'm saying the way they close the effect by having him put that helmet on, so to speak, and then clunk clunk, it really worked. So that was really cool. But yeah, I thought the effect was really good. Like I said, it looked good. They sold it really well. So I was super happy about that. And then him getting stabbed through the chest looked really good too, and that was, I would say, predominantly CGI. I would assume the tip of the sword coming through him was CGI. Maybe even the chest being opened up was CGI, or maybe they had some practical element there, and then the tip of the sword coming out was a computer graphics thing. But I don't know 100% what they did, but I know it looked good and I liked it, so that was good. And then I thought it was an interesting turn that the ninja arc sword like made everybody go nuts, but it empowered or repowered Taro. I'd like to see there be some sort of consequence for him there, from receiving that power again. But it's interesting because he has part of his deal is that there's a consequence to him receiving the level of power that he has all the time, where I think it's like once a year he gets sick or something like that, where he's basically laid out and unable to perform. And I think that's cool. And I kind of want to see another consequence to that, but maybe that's the only consequence that guy gets. So who knows? And then as far as what's are concerned, I'm just going to go back to the Anoni thing real quick. Are the Anoni really a distinct entity from the Hitsosuki? Like, why would they be? They function as mooks to the Hitsosuki, don't they? So like, why wouldn't they be connected with them? And like, are we being asked to accept the constant contrivance and confluence of events that whenever there's a Hitsosuki attacking, there's also Anoni who are there who start attacking the Donbros instead of attacking the Hitsosuki? Especially, like, that just feels off. And then, like, I noticed, I went back to grab some images, and there are Anoni like attending the funeral of your boy, I can't remember, Sonoi, or Sonoi. So like they're attending his funeral and they're like waiting in submission to the Cerebrans. So like, are they like Cerebran mooks? But the Cerebrans are destroying the Hitsosuki. The Cerebran Knights are anyway. So like, why wouldn't they be helping to destroy the Hitsosuki instead of helping defend the Hitsosuki, which is what they seem to be. Like, they should be swarming and attacking the Hitsosuki, and then maybe attacking the Donbros, because the Donbros are getting in their way as they're trying to destroy the Hitsosuki. That's the only thing I can think of that would make sense, because right now they seem as if they are the Hitsosuki mooks instead of being like an opposing force to them. And then like the Murasame protecting the Anoni because they belong to the Cerebrans, or they're part of the Cerebrans. I don't really get what's going on. Anyway, I still give this episode a score of 8 out of 10. The story is reaching a turning point. I can feel things moving where I wanted them to go, or where I want them to go. I was entertained, but there was a lot going on. It was probably too much, but it worked somehow. So Mazel Tov, and may you be strengthened, Team Donbros. I'm excited for the next one. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Look forward to the Fujo PI episode 8 analysis coming up, as well as the Geats episode 3 analysis coming up. They will be coming out after this. And yeah, I'm still working on the book the Godzilla-inspired children's picture book, and I'll update you on that as I can. Go to mjmooners.com. You should see, like, once the book is live, if you're listening to this like months later or something like that, you'll see links to it, I'm sure, up top, so you can go ahead and check out the book for yourself. And I'm hoping that if you like the way I analyze these things, you'll like the way I write stories about these things as well. So anyway, this is MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings. Until next time, take care, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you can find more at mjmunoz.com, as well as my entire library of analysis, art, and fiction.